Well, look at that. We're live for another Joking Adventure Hour. This is Wednesday, August 5th, 2026. Hello to X, Rumble, and BitChute. Hello to YouTube. Hello to Lurks and Bots. Hello to the chat. Hello to George. He's muted.
Sorry. Greetings.
Sure, Mary Nat, because the stories are real, but the news, they tend to be fake.
Oh, yeah.
And before we jump into the news, be sure to get a copy of The Immortal Mass, a 200-page graphic novel on sale now on my website, Dinales.com, CriticalBlast.com, and Amazon.com. Getting those copies support me so I can keep doing this. Thank you. Nick Sortor. President Trump just ran after and blocked a little boy from running off stage while his mom was speaking. Let's watch. I don't want him to be like Biden and fall off the stage.
It's truly an honor. It's truly an honor to stand here before you and speak. Sorry, excuse me. I have a little mom brain going on right now. I'm so sorry. No, he's going to take off. Thank you. Thank you. Truly, thank you, Mr. President. It's an honor to be here. It's truly an honor. It's truly an honor to stand here before you and speak. Sorry, excuse me. I have a little mom brain going on right now. I'm so sorry. No, he's going to take off. Thank you.
Yeah, catch him.
You got to catch them all.
Yeah. All right, next one. All right, AcmeAcres.us. Walmart hams label 5 pound, actual weight on the scale 2.3 pounds. A guy walked through one Walmart with a scale and found 6 mislabeled packages in 30 seconds. The hams are marked 4.9, 5.4, 5.6 pounds, all weight under 2.5 on the store's own scale. Colonel Towner Watkins says, understand what Walmart's doing. Those donated hams to the food bank as a write-off. They're actually defrauding the government.
Oh, boy.
So we're going to win no matter what. Even when we're donating, we're going to win. Any comments?
No.
All right.
No. Let the stores, screw the people over, man. Jeez.
Yeah, like Mondami. Just announced Scott Pressler promised to support John Fetterman Senate re-election campaign in 2028 if he votes yay on the Save American Act. If he votes for the Save American Act, we will support him, but he must be loyal to the photo ID and proof of citizenship, per Benny Johnson. A Fetterman yay would make it easier to secure our election under reconciliation with just 50 votes plus J.D. Vance.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's see if Fetterman steps up and does the...
Trust in Fetterman 9.
Trust in Fetterman.
9.
Fetterman 9.
Yes. Just N says, this age like spoiled milk.
You are the problem. It is the unvaccinated who are the problem. Period. End of story.
The only people that you can blame, this isn't shaming, this is the truth. Maybe they should be shamed, are the unvaccinated.
It's time to start blaming the unvaccinated folks, not the regular folks.
Anyone you came into contact with will blame you, as will the rest of us who have done the right thing by getting vaccinated.
Because frankly, we know that we can't trust the unvaccinated.
I think it's time to get our moral house in order, Anderson. It's the unvaccinated who are the threat.
All those vaccinated folks are going to start wearing masks to protect the unvaccinated folks. It's called a Christian value.
You're basically punishing the vaccinated for the sins of the unvaccinated.
People are not behaving honorably. The unvaccinated are basically saying, well, it's open season for me.
Hey, George, as we saw the statistic, 81 to 19% of the population, right?
Yeah.
So you're saying 19% of the population hold hostage the other 81?
Yep.
Is that what you're saying?
Yep. That's what they're saying.
I can do whatever I want as well.
The unvaccinated are basically beating their breasts, running around the country saying, "Ha, we don't care.
What are you talking about, breeding our breasts? we can't even get out of our own houses.
We're living free," and so forth.
We've been patient, but our patience is wearing thin.
The unvaccinated, a group that includes children and people acting like children. And the rest of us are starting to get pissed off.
The vaccinated feel the unvaccinated are making me upset or angry.
This is not about freedom or personal choice.
Well, you know, yeah. I wish somebody could just ask him on camera, how do you feel about being such a douchebag? How do you feel about being a catalyst to so many people that got hurt?
You could say simple is like, well, you know, some people think that President Trump is the president.
My freedom is being kind of disturbed here. No, screw your freedom.
Disturbed.
Screw your freedom.
The day Howard Stern weighed in with a much different approach. Take a look.
When are we going to stop putting up with the idiots in this country and just say, it's mandatory to get vaccinated? Their freedom.
But you're treading on.
Remember, Howard Stern was only having one show per week instead of 5.
Uh-oh.
And he was supposedly one of the main, flagship shows for Sirius XM.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. Blind Goth Girl, funny, but they let 10 million unvaccinated immigrants not check for Rona, childhood disease, or tuberculosis. Yeah, funny as that. They don't check for the for all those illegal immigrants. Yeah, we talked about that as well. Yeah. Isn't that
going on here?
Hey, George, did you also know that the one continent that didn't accept the vaccination had very low COVID episodes? Remember that?
Yes, that was, I believe, Africa, wasn't it?
Exactly.
Yes, but do you know why?
Go ahead, spill it.
Because they were over-vaccinated already.
Yeah.
And they go like, not another needle. Fuck that.
Yeah.
I'm just going to let God take care of it now.
Exactly.
Our freedom, and you're making other people sick, and really you're killing other people. The anti-vaxxers, they seem to have a thing.
Have you noticed a lot of these people on screens have been fired?
Yes, that's such a good thing.
For death and home remedies.
The anti-maskers turned anti-vaxxers are not just putting their own lives at risk. If that was the issue, we could just say that we can watch them compete to win place or show in the Darwin Awards.
We have to start doing things for the great.
Who's winning the Darwin Award now?
Yeah.
Excuse me?
He is.
Yeah.
Greater good of society, and not for idiots who think that they can do their own research.
And don't get me started on the lunatics who won't take any of the COVID vaccines.
Life is too short to be an ass. Life is way too short to be ignorant of the promise of something that is helping people worldwide.
Maybe you're doing it because you're disconnected or disorganized. Maybe you have some sympathetic psychological reasons. But maybe you're just being antisocial.
Oh, you.
Antisocial, huh? Oh, Kumos, Fredo. I'm hoping somebody call him Fredo now that he's in news. What was it, Newsbreak or whatever it's called? The other Fox controlled media that poses like supposed to be alternative, but it isn't really.
Yeah, it's all.
You can't shame them. You can't call them stupid. You can't call them silly. Yes, they are.
Those who are
Oh, by the way, they're both fired from their jobs.
not vaccinated will end up paying the price.
The unvaccinated should be taxed. They should pay more for health care.
We need to start looking at the choice to remain unvaccinated the same as we look at driving while intoxicated.
We're going to see, and I've said, almost two types of America.
Dr. Fauci said that if hospitals...
No, he's right. There's two types of America now, you know? The leaders and the followers.
Yep.
Hospitals get any more overcrowded, they're going to have to make some very tough choices about who gets an ICU bed. That choice doesn't seem so tough to me. Vaccinated person having a heart attack, yes, come right on in. We'll take care of you. Unvaccinated guy who gobbled horse goo, rest in peace, Wheezy.
Pointing back to the...
Oh, that horse goo, right? Horse goo, huh? Yeah, I think Joe Rogan has to say something about that.
Yep.
Unvaccinated who are really creating a problem in this country. Every death that we are seeing from COVID.
And we're finding those deaths are the Fauci protocols and CDC policies.
Yep.
Could have been prevented.
Literally, the only people dying are the unvaccinated. And
oh yeah, this guy, he also fired from his job. Isn't this wonderful? 3 minutes of everybody who got fired from their jobs. Yeah, I remember. What? Oh, he got fired. She got fired. You know, there's some people not fired, but the majority of them have been fired. Somebody was sending me a DM asking me, why do you keep saying Fetterman 9? Well, here's the first.
Because all the other 8 have been already exhausted.
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh, there's 6 of them right there.
Yeah. You know, just a reminder. See, this is Fetterman 1, the original. This is Fetterman 2, post operation. This is Fetterman 3, post divorce. This is Fetterman 4, running against Oz. This is Fetterman 5. You know, having to get the lump back again because people were asking too many questions, and these other guys weren't looking like Fetterman 1. This is Fetterman 6, who is smiling after he beats Oz afterwards. Fetterman 7 is the guy who was wearing clothes and fell down the steps. Fetterman 8 is the other guy that had long COVID. And then Fetterman 9 is the one that we currently have.
Yeah, and that Fetterman 9 wears a 3-piece suit.
Exactly. Which is why he's wearing a suit, you know, in the latest Fauci things.
Yep.
So, you know, original, and we're down over here. The many faces of Fauci.
Yep.
And Fauci 9 we trust.
Yes.
But you mean Fetterman, right? Yes. But, you know, Fauci as well. You'd think that guy with a long nose would be surviving with all the bullshit he's done? Jessica Rose. Robert Gallo, yes, HIV Gallo, returned email to Francis Collins as a reminder on May 3rd, 2020, explicitly warning the pairs of using glycosated spike protein vaccine. Collins and Fauci ignored him. Yeah, just a reminder. Just a reminder. Let's see. John Solomon, big announcement this morning. The White House Government Transparency Task Force released newly declassified documents exposing an FBI criminal investigation codenamed Oxford Comma. The documents can be downloaded here at the whitehouse.gov, actual main White House. These documents shows that the FBI criminally investigated President Trump beginning in May of 2027 on the theory that he was acting as a Russian agent when he fired ex-FBI Director James Comey for mishandling the Clinton email case. At the time the FBI opened this probe, its agents had already debunked the Steele dossier. The agents had already cleared Mike Flynn of collusion. Pete Strauss wrote Lisa's page. There was no big there. The Bureau was already alerted. The Bureau was already alerted Carter Page was CIA asset and not a Russian stew. Oh boy! The more I keep reading this, the more it becomes somebody was trying to run a coup against the president.
Yeah.
Let me see. Oops. There you go. There you go. One of the lead agents, William Barrett, has concluded that he has seen no evidence of Russian collusion and wanted off the case because the investigation had become a bad game of Clue. Despite of that, the FBI still opened Oxford, and used as a part of the Russian collusion hoax. Remarkably, the man who knew the real reason why Comey was fired for violating the DOJ policy in the Clinton probe, then Deputy Attorney General Rod Rosenstein, allowed the case to go forward and authorized Mueller appointment. Documents, download the document and read them there. The task force not only released documents that the president and the White House counsel Dave Warrington graciously declassified, but also assembled a stack of prior evidence that contradicted Oxford common predate for criminally. Let me see, what is it?
Criminally stupid people?
Criminally investigating a sitting president.
Oh.
But we read the Mueller report. They weren't investigating the president. They were investigating the president. It wasn't Trump they were investigating. They were investigating Obama. Remember when we sat here and I read all 400 pages because it was $40 million that we spent on that document?
Yeah.
And we concluded, it's not Trump they're investigating, it's Obama.
Yep.
Eric, J.D. Vance just confirmed it was Stephen Miller at his site. We have been able to identify $200 billion of fraud just since the fraud task force was set up. That's frankly by conservationally estimating it. We've been able to stop $56 billion in fraudulent payments that would have otherwise gone to fraudster rather than go to the people who needs them. Hey, George, have you noticed that since this has been happening, all the terrorist groups all over the world has been folding like spring chickens?
Yeah, it's like they were all getting paid from USAID.
Yeah. And all the left wing political parties are falling apart all over the places.
Yep.
Oh, Benny Justice, just in, Congressman Shirley Tandalaw just lost his primary election to socialist challenger Donovan McKinley. How bad do you have to lose to a socialist? Hey, George, have you may not have noticed it because we haven't really talked about it, but all the primary elections that's been happening all over the country, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the Democratic Socialists of American candidates have been winning those elections.
Mm-hmm.
And all the Democrat voters are saying, we're not going to go and vote for a socialist, or we're going to vote for the Republican.
Give me a sec. I got to pick up a phone.
All right.
Oh, please continue.
Yeah.
Oh, and by the way, who the heck is this guy again?
He is the guy who I can't remember, but he's the one who they were talking about. He made so many funny things. We were laughing our hats off when it happened. Trump's war room. I can't specifically remember. I know he was annoying and funny as hell in equal measure. Donald J. Trump, Wayne County, Detroit, in Michigan is one of the most corrupt voting areas in the United States, if not the world. It's strictly third world. Miracle happens in Wayne County, including more votes to being cast than there are voters by a lot. Therefore, the communist, who is not like in Detroit, is potentially in voter counter trouble. The radical left socialist has a real shot. Don't discount all those fake mail-in ballots that will surprisingly show up at the last moment. Get ready for another rigged election. In November, we must vote for Mike Roger and make Michigan too big to rig. God bless America. President DJT. He's already warning you that they're going to do a Spencer Pratt and that social is going to win because of mail-in ballots. Because of the states. Because the state of Michigan is not following what the voter cleanup and all that. So expect that election to be stolen. The Vigilant Fox, Ted Cruz, predicts that the next senator from New York will not be AOC, but rather Zadan Madami. He says terrified Chuck Schumer will be rolling out the red carpet for AOC presidential bid while Madami takes over his Senate seat. James Waters, why is Schumer so tight-lipped? All I hear is Big Tent, then they run. Why? Cruz, because they're utterly terrified. Chuck Schumer cannot win a primary in a Democratic Party. He spent the last several years terrified that AOC was going to primary him. I think the inaugural member of AOC for President Committee will be Chuck Schumer. He's telling her, Alexandra, you're much too important for the Senate. The White House is the place for you. But I'll tell you, Jess, I predict already Madami, I believe, is going to be primary Schumer. Schumer may not even run. I think Madami will be the next senator from New York. This is where all the energy in the Democrat primary is. Other than John Fetterman, every old guard Democrat is afraid of one of these lunatics primating themselves as well. I call that Democratic implosions. Let's see if the gentleman has anything to say.
Why is Schumer so tight-lipped? All I hear is Big Tent, and then they run. Why?
Yeah. Because they are utterly terrified. Chuck Schumer cannot win a primary in the Democrat Party. He spent the last several years terrified that AOC was going to primary him. I think the inaugural member of the AOC for President Committee will be Chuck Schumer. He's telling her, Alexandra, you're much too important for the Senate. The White House is the place for you. But I'll tell you, Jesse, I predicted already Mamdani, I believe, is going to primary Schumer. Schumer may not even run. I think Mamdani will be the next senator from New York. That is where all of the energy in the Democrat primary is. And other than John Fetterman, and it's a case of John Fetterman being the lone exception and showing that all of the rest of his colleagues, they're just terrified because every one of them is afraid of one of these lunatics primarying them as well.
Why is Schumer so...
Beautiful. Free garbage cans for everybody. But you need to show a photo ID to get one. Nick Sortor's breaking. Senator Rand Paul just obtained a copy of Dr. Fauci's COVID-era iPhone backup as Senator Paul's committee ramp up their investigation. The Biden regime intended to bury this backup, but RFK Jr.'s HHS just discovered it and forwarded it to the Senate. This backup could be used to hold Fauci accountable in states like Florida, where their AG is investigating for potential financial crimes.
But let me finish.
You take an animal virus and you increase its transmissibility to humans.
Right.
You're saying that's not gain of function?
Yeah, that is correct. And Senator Paul, you do not know what you are talking about, quite frankly. And I want to say that officially. You do not know what you are talking about. Okay, you get
NIH,
one person.
Let's read from the NIH definition of gain of function. This is your definition that you guys wrote. It says that scientific research that increases the transmissibility among animals is gain of function. They took animal viruses that only occur in animals and they increased their transmissibility to humans. How you can say that is not gain of function?
It is not.
It's a dance, and you're dancing around this because you're trying to obscure responsibility for 4 million people dying around the world from a pandemic.
Let me finish.
No, sir, you're wrong. You're categorically wrong. You're categorically wrong. You're categorically wrong. That was his statement back then. You're categorically wrong. You're categorically wrong. You're trying to throw aspiration and assertion, and you're categorically wrong. Fast forward 5 years, at the advice of my attorneys, I will invoke my privilege of the Fifth Amendment of the Constitution. Lives of TikTok. Mass speaker at St. Paul City Council calls to abolish private property. This is real.
What we're all participating in here is a settler colony on stolen land. This is a government that represents the settlers and the capitalists and the other neoliberal fascists that live amongst us. Why are they brutalizing all of these innocent, beautiful people? It's crazy. I mean, I'm sure they take care of their pets at home and they take care of their kids at home and they kiss their, kids goodnight and all that. But what this government, what this system exists to do is to enforce private property. And if these people think that they can just go live in the park, no. That'll bring all our property values down. That'll collapse the whole system. So what can we do besides beg and plead, you motherfuckers, for a little bit of humanity? I think what we should do is take their ability away to brutalize us like this. I think we should take away the weapons from the armed group of thugs that they use to brutalize all of us.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, I get it. I get it. You get rid of property, the ownership of property, the private property. Then you get rid of you can't have property taxes if you don't own it. So you can't have taxes. Yeah, that's a way to go with it. Yeah, but then they'll slap you with another tax, which is called rental tax. And, and then they could charge you, monthly charges instead of yearly charges. Stupid is, stupid does. American AF Patriot Kash Patel warned all traders who have fled the United States to foreign lands that they will not be on the run for long. Let's listen.
For traders to know is that there is no safe haven. We will give you no sanctuary. In the month of July, the FBI executed almost 30 foreign transfers of custody in over 15 separate countries for drug traffickers, terrorists, murderers, and rapists. So what I'm here to tell you today, for all these individuals that are on the run right now, you will not be on the run for long. We will hunt you down in every corner of the planet, and we will return you here to face American justice. The numbers that we at the FBI and our partners are returning to America to face justice from overseas is a record-breaking number. It is a direct result of President Trump's relationships with foreign governments that allow us to work in spaces we were never permitted to work before. And that is why we are delivering these historic results, returning these individuals to America for justice. And most importantly, once they are in our justice system, we have seized these funds and we are going to get them back to the senior citizens that were fleeced of their life savings and their retirements. That is the mission of law enforcement. That is the collective mission of the interagency partnerships you see here today. I'm thankful to be able to stand shoulder to shoulder with these agencies, our prosecutors, the Department of Justice, and this White House, laser focused and primary importance on protecting our most vulnerable, our kids, and our elderly. And you're
somebody's going after some people. We should have a stupidity tax. Yeah, if we have that, then basically our national debt is already paid out. Oh, wait, no, we are paying stupidity tax every year. Yeah, just remember, it's called the income tax. We can always tell our representatives and senators to eliminate the income tax. or push our state Congress, state senator, and state senates to states to get rid of the income tax with a constitutional amendment. But we don't, because it takes too much effort. We're too stupid to figure it out. The Daily Loud. Target is now completely removing the plastic seal on Pokemon products to stop scalpers from hoarding it and selling it for even more money. The ongoing of money laundering through Pokemon products continue. Tales of Badge and Blaze. In Illinois, a single mom spent days leveling the ground and setting up a swimming pool for her 2 kids. Her neighbor, bothered by the noise of the children playing, snuck over one night, took it away in an instant. What's a good punishment for the person who did this? Well, whatever the law is there, because that's trespassing, one, and damaging private properties, 2. So whatever that is. So it's really, I don't know if it's a criminal one, but it is a civil one. Maybe she could hit both. Because it's Illinois, so that's why I'm kind of iffy. Because they passed some laws that made that legal. A little iffy. So that's why I'm not quite sure. I know in Florida that would have been, you go to jail for trespassing and damage to private property. Polymark. If former Rockstar Games developer says he would not be shocked if GTA 6 was delayed again up to 6 months. If Take-Two Interactive and Rockstar announced another 6 months delay, people would riot. They would riot. But you know what? With the ongoing situation with Sony and killing off the physical media, saying that they're not going to continue production past 2028 on physical disc, and you're launching only digital only GTA. I think it's going to hurt sales. So I wouldn't be surprised if the executives are looking at this and saying, maybe we should, push it back for 6 months and see if the anger of the gamers over this situation dies down, and then they won't care to pay $100 for digital only product. But I don't know. Colonel Tom Watkins posts, told ya, the federal government is a massive money laundering operation, a mafia to destroy U.S. citizens by confiscating their wealth under the penalty of law enacted by the Fabians in 1913. Wake the F up. Real Robert, here it is, the Federal Department of Indoctrinations. All right. Let's see what this video is all about.
Let's look at the Department of Education. The Federal Department of Education has a budget of about $280 billion a year. Less than 25% goes to educating our students. So where does the other $220 billion go? It goes to a bureaucracy. It goes to a consultant. And that consultant then donates money back to the Democrats. And then it goes to a different consultant. And then it goes to an NGO. I mean, it is money laundering and money churning at its absolute best. And you can look at almost every single agency and you will find it. So the brilliance of Doge isn't that he's going in and cutting spending. He doesn't have the authority to do that. We're the ones that have the authority to do that. What I want him to do is come up with a report, go through agency by agency by agency, identify every single program that we should not be funding, put a number attached to it. We slap a preamble on the front of that report, and we say that every single agency is having their budget cut by X amount as shown in the attached report, and none of those programs can go forward from here on out.
And this is why Democrats are losing their minds over Elon Musk. It's all about money.
Not one Democrat in America voted for Elon Musk. Elon Musk is seizing the power that belongs to the American.
No, he's helping the Treasury seize control of the power, thus giving control to the president back. And who voted the president in? Us. I think the logic still holds. Prairie Nation Electric Arts is officially a private company. The $55 billion acquisition has been completed, with the company now owned by an investment group led by Saudi Arabia Public Investment Fund, along with Silver Lake's Infinity Partners. The deal takes EA off the stock market, making it one of the biggest acquisitions in gaming history. EA will say it will continue operating under CEO Andrew Wilson, and there will be no announced changes to its studios or games. But, like all good things, you're not beholden to the stock market. Because you're not beholden to the stock market, then this is most likely what's going to happen. Pirate Nation, mass layoffs expected at EA. Bloomberg reports that the EA plans to cut around $700 billion in annual costs after going private. $170 million of those savings will come from organization efficiency, a term often referred to restructuring and workforce reduction. They're firing everybody. Yes, it makes sense. If you're not producing products that people are buying, how can you afford to continue being there? You no longer have other people's money to keep you afloat. You have to be a producing company. Otherwise, you're just an account, basically. You're just money laundry. Deaf. So I expect that they're gonna use Andrew Wilson to become their hatchetman, fire everybody from that needs to be fired, and then they're gonna replace him with somebody else and start the whole thing clean. Lives to take that. Canadian legal Caitlin Tracy, who attacked a girl for wearing a Trump-themed clothing, has been ordered to be deported. Bye-bye. And then her husband can follow through back to Canada. It's only me. Yet Dr. Neil Stone says this is nonsense. Is he even a doctor? I would even let him walk my dog. Cat turd. Fauci claimed ivermectin didn't work, so not a doctor, not giving medical advice. We're just reading information from recent hearings. That's it for informational purpose only. You make your own decision. F off YouTube. Fauci claims ivermectin didn't work, so he could unleash his EUA gene therapy. 106 studies, 200,000 plus patient, found ivermectin cut COVID mortality by 47%, hospitalization by 34%, cases 79%, and raised viral clearance 44%, and improved recovery by 39%.
I've got the studies right here. There was a website that was tracking the random controlled studies. Here they are, showing 60, 70% efficacy of ivermectin. The same day you say there's no evidence, there was all kinds of evidence. Loved ones had to go to hospitals, had to sue hospitals. Just, would you try it? So I would want to know, to what extent were you involved in sabotaging hydroxychloroquine, ivermectin, and did you do that because you knew the only way you get an emergency use authorization for these drugs, these experimental gene therapy, was if there was no effective treatment, you couldn't get the emergency use authorization. So is that why you helped sabotage these cheap generic drugs in favor of remdesivir, which, by the way, nurses, are you aware of the fact that nurses called it run, death is near?
On the advice of counsel, I respectfully decline to answer based upon my rights under the Fifth Amendment.
That's all you need to hurt. Try Midnight. Yep. Fauci ruins his suit when MAGA Marine vet plays a surprise video. Watch him squirm. All right.
Answered. My medical license was threatened because I disagreed with bureaucrats. Literally taken off the internet as a person who is treating patients with leading-edge technologies, developing theories, but doing my very best, but being censored by the United States government for the first time, stepping in and taking the place of medical professionals as the experts in healthcare. Any dissent surrounding COVID-19 treatments, mask mandates, and any public policy surrounding the pandemic was immediately labeled as anti-science. I watched as public health officials and politicians told my patients what treatment options were best for them, regardless of their comorbidities or their medical history. Despite my education and my training and my experience, my opinions were relegated to conspiracy and misinformation by so-called healthcare experts who had never treated a patient throughout the entire pandemic. This has been a black eye on the medicine and has highlighted why government should never insert itself in between patients and their healthcare providers. The American people deserve to make medical decisions through conversations with their physicians rather than politically motivated mandates. Dr. Fauci, did you ever treat a patient for COVID during the pandemic?
I was part of a team that was at the NIH that took care. We didn't take care of many of them.
Okay, so not hands-on. Got it. Thank you. Why would I be criticized by a bureaucrat for doing my very best as a healthcare? This is a rhetorical question. But why? Why would the government, who's never treated a patient for COVID, you can read all the things you want, but you're not there. You're not seeing patients. You're not watching people die, intubating patients right there with that disease in your face, watching it happen, watching the development of this disease and actually learning from it. But I'm being told by bureaucrats what's right and wrong. And what's funny is everything I was censored on, I was proven to be right. Pretty crazy, isn't it? You said in an interview that you gave as part of an audiobook written by Michael Spector that you believed an institutional should make it hard for people to live their lives so they'd feel pressured to get vaccinated. Could we run the audio clip on that, please?
You think can be done about it. I have to say that I don't see a big solution other than some sort of mandatory vaccination. I know federal officials don't like to use that term.
Once people feel empowered and protected legally, you are going to have schools, universities, and colleges are going to say, you want to come to this college, buddy? You're going to get vaccinated. Lady, you're going to get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Big corporations like Amazon and Facebook and all of those others are going to say, you want to work for us, you get vaccinated. And it's been proven that when you make it difficult for people in their lives, they lose their ideological bullshit and they get vaccinated.
Thank you. Are all objections to COVID vaccinations ideological bullshit, Dr. Fauci?
No, they're not, and that's not what I was referring to.
Well, in reference to making it hard for people to get education, traveling, working, I'd say it very much was in context. And I take great offense to this. Miss Allison Williams testified before this committee about losing her job because she sought an exemption for ESPN's vaccine mandate, which came from recommendations from bureaucrats like yourself. She and her husband were actively working with a fertility expert, a physician, on how to get pregnant, and agreed with the premise that she was young, healthy, wanted to get pregnant, and shouldn't get the vaccination for medical purposes. But she was fired because you made it hard, just like you said in your statement, because you didn't want to make sure that the ideological bullshit got in the way of her working, of living her life, of making a medical decision with her healthcare professional. I think America should take great offense to this. That's exactly what you meant when you said making it hard for people to live without getting a vaccination. You affected people's ability to work, travel, be educated, to actually flourish in American society, to self-determine, as we're all given God-given rights. Shame on you.
There you go. Enough said to be said. And this is going to go on parading. Almost sounds like a My Chemical Romance song. John Harrow, this is pretty juicy. The investigation revealed by John Solomon Task Force is actually referenced in the Durham report with the name redacted. Right here, we have not interpreted the order as directing us to investigate the department handling of matter associated with the investigation former Secretary of State Hillary Clinton's use of the private email server. For the review of those matters, see the Office of Inspector General, U.S. Department of Justice, review of various action by Federal Bureau of Investigation Department of Justice in advance of the 2016 election, June 2018. We also have not interpreted the order as directing us to consider the handling of the investigation into President Trump's opened by the FBI on May 16, 2017. See FBI EC from Counterintelligence regarding redacted foreign agent registration acts. Russia sensitive investigative matter, May 16, 2017. Oh, yeah, we read that when we read the Durham report as well on this channel every Sunday. So, the following day, the Deputy Attorney General appointed Special Counsel Mueller to investigate Russian interference in the 2016 presidential election and related matter. See 1 Mueller report at 11:12, describing authorities given to the Special Counsel Mueller. Finally, we have not interpreted the order as directing us to consider a matter addressed by the former United States Attorney for the District of Utah or by the former Attorney, the United States Attorney for the Eastern District of Missouri, other than relating the Crossfire, Hurricane, or FISA application targeting Carter Page. For those accounts of those matters in the news media, see Thomas Burr and Pamela Manson. U.S. Attorney for Utah is investigating the GOP raised concern about the FBI surveilling Trump aide and about Clinton's uranium ties. And this is where we said before is that, which George didn't agree with me at the time, but it looks like I've been proven right. These are the other investigation from other people investigating the other situation. Don't be surprised if the United States Attorney for the District of Utah or from the United States Attorney for Eastern District of Missouri come back in the news because one is investigating the uranium ties and the other one's FBI surveilling Trump's aide. So we'll see what happens. All right. And I am still fixing to read the IG Attorney General Husowitz report as well, because we still need to do that. It's the trifecta of these special counsel situation. Just like if you want to watch what happened in the 2008 recession and subprime mortgage crisis, you want to watch the movies Big Short, The Margin, and I can't remember the third one, but it was dealt with the government side. It was made for TV special. Tara Bud, hot new listing just hit the market in LA. Yeah. Some people says it's trash. Other people says it's a mansion. You know, it just needs a little fixer-upper, don't you know? A little paint, a little spit and polish, and it'll be all good all over again. Yeah. Redux, a woman in Brazil has been convicted of a criminal misgendering after referring to a transgender politician as a man. Blanca Barreto was found guilty of social racism and sentenced to 2 years imprisonment for offending parliamentarian Duca Salabat. That would never happen in the United States. Or did it? The world will never know. Lives a TikTok while Mount Vernon, New York, Deputy Police Commissioner Jennifer Lacklark has been arrested for allegedly being the getaway driver for her gang member's son after a shooting. Mount Vernon, New York. Statement regarding criminal charges involving former Deputy Commissioner of Wellness, Jennifer Lacklark. Mount Vernon Police Department is aware of the criminal charges filed by Bronx County District Attorney Office against former Deputy Commissioner of Wellness. Effective immediately, the city of Mount Vernon has terminated Jennifer Lacklark's employment. The allegations are unrelated to her duties with Mount Vernon Police Department and do not stem from any conduct associated with the department or performance of her official responsibility. Mount Vernon Police Department remains fully committed to its nationally recognized wellness unit. The department will continue to operate without interruption in its critical wellness service and support it provides to our officers, civilians, employees, and their family and community at large will continue as part of the department's ongoing commitment to the health and well-being of its workforce. As this is a active criminal matter being prosecuted by the Bronx County District Attorney Office, the Mount Vernon Police Department will not comment on the underlying allegations. She was a getaway driver, allegedly, of her gang son in the Bronx. That court hearing is going to have to be major. So, Your Honor, I was just in the neighborhood picking up my son to get him out of trouble, and when a shootout happened, I was going to protect my son and drove away. I was not involved in any crime or wrongdoing, Your Honor. It's what's most likely is going to happen. I'm very interested in what's going to happen, actually. SCOTUS Wire. The federal judge has ruled that the major portion of the National Firearms Act are unconstitutional after Congress eliminated certain taxes on suppressor, short barrel rifles, and short barrel shotguns and undercover firearms. United States District Court, Northern District of Texas, San Angeles Division. Article 1 of the Constitution gives Congress several innumerable powers. Among those powers is the authority to lay and collect taxes. In 1934, Congress invoked its taxing power to enact the National Firearms Act, a scheme to constrict the firearm for certain classes of firearms. As passed, the National Firearms Act requires individuals to pay a tax before transferring or making a covered firearm. This including the burdensome regulatory provision to aid the collection and enforcement of those taxes. At that time, the NFA possessed a key feature of any tax and produced some revenues for the government. But that is no longer true. In 2025, Congress eliminated the NFA transfer and making taxes for 4 categories of firearms: short barrel shotgun, short barrel rifle, silencers, and a final defined group of miscellaneous firearms. Because today NFA does not generate any revenue from untaxed firearms, and regulatory provision cannot be upheld under taxing power. And there is no sign in the NFA tax structure or statutory history that Congress invoked any other powers in crafting the NFA provision at issue. Thus, the regulatory provision must be enjoined as unconstitutional because they exceed Congress' enumerated powers. AKA, we're going to start seeing all those. This is a one big giant domino on firearms suppressions. What I mean by that, we're one step closer to constitutionally carry firearms and all gun control laws being unconstitutional. Thank you, the lack of a Chevron doctrine, who's been removed. Rapper Response 47, Donald Trump on Truth Social. Michael Moore, the failed politician pundit, who has been losing to me for years, was ranting that we lost in 2024 and just can't take it anymore. No, Michael, just get used to more losing. You've been a loser all your life, and nothing's going to change. Adieu, your new communist comrade will not be able to save you. He knows you're a failed low life, and he wants to pick up where you left off. For thousands of years, the concept of communist policy never worked, and they're not going to work now, especially under the tremendous transformational success that the Trump administration has brought forth for the entire world to see and follow. Best economic numbers ever, best trade numbers, best export numbers, biggest investment in our country, and so on and so on. This is the golden age of America, and a small group of misfits like you, I'll do, and other won't be able to destroy it and change the course of history in doing so. It's too big, too powerful, too good. See you on the political battlefield. Make America great again. President Donald J. Trump. You know, we're still waiting. My pocket needs that money, needs that moolah, President Trump. Where's our dividend checks, Mr. President? I want my dividends checks. Technofy, Oxford, the May 16-17 opening of a FBI counterintelligence criminal investigation to President Trump. And relying upon, in large part, disputed gossip of Russian assistance that the FBI has been investigating for nearly a year, which the FBI could never remotely collaborate. The FBI is predicating the investigation on predetermined criteria set forth by Crossfire Hurricane investigative team based on the assessment of reliable lead information received during the course of the investigation. In May 2016, a named member of the Trump campaign team indicated he was knowledgeable that the Russian made a suggestion that the Russian could assist the Trump campaign with an anonymous release of information during the campaign damaging to the Hillary Clinton's campaign. Oh, really? Man. I'm just wondering. Ooh. This is interesting. Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr., Surgeon General of Florida, just announced that all vaccine mandates in Florida will be ended, and the room erupted. All right. There you go. Wall Street apes, you literally can't make this up. The Department of Homeland Security has been giving hundreds of thousands of dollars in grants to an NGO to fund mass protests. Democrat head our Homeland Security funding our foreign takeover. Grant shows that the Homeland Security, the very agency that the CHIRLA protesting, has awarded anti-deportation groups several six-figure grants. Chirla is a Democrat NGO who funds and organizes mass protests. Our Homeland Security finds them, then they turn around and mass protest our ICE enforcement. So let's listen. She's trying to get them to break and hello, you're trespassing. You're trespassing. You're trespassing. You know, man, the oldest book. All right. All right, lastly. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. All right. And that's it for tonight. Thank you everybody for joining us. You get to belong Golf Girl. George, what's your final thoughts?
What? I just got here.
What are you talking about? You've been gone for the show.
Ah, son of a gun.
Yeah.
My final thoughts, yeah, yep.
All right. We'll see you tomorrow for more. Till then, bye.
I believe that together we can make America great again. I believe that together we can make America great again.